Joining us to discuss more, Dr. Sona Kazemi, assistant professor at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse. Dr. Kazemi, the mass protests at the beginning of the year, they were sparked in part by economic frustration. Now with these major losses after the war, how is this going to impact average Iranians?
Please let me first thank you for actually caring about this issue and reporting on it. It's really rare to see people actually in the middle of this quagmire of politics and international relations and uh, other politics going on to actually care about the reality of the Iranian people on the ground, who are the first victim and number one enemy of the Islamic Republic. Um, as you remember, or your viewers might remember, after the 1988 ceasefire with Iraq, a war that took 8 years between Iran and Iraq, in the middle of which I was born, actually. The resolution 598 was ratified by the United Nations, and the Islamic Republic, who was a sworn enemy of Saddam Hussein, was eventually brought to table to sign a ceasefire because, they were running out of ammunition and for a host of other reasons. After that, in a matter of weeks after that, they performed the most violent massacre of political prisoners and dissidents in the summer of 1988, many of whom had already served or were serving their sentences. 4,500 people were hanged and dumped in mass graves, mostly in mass graves. And there are still people who are missing from that, forcibly disappeared or missing. Families don't know where they are buried. So now it is a very scary time for Iranians because of this precedence. Even after the 12-day war with Israel, we saw that Iran arrested 20,000 people on the charges of spying for Israel, and some of them were hanged. So whenever the Islamic Republic is humiliated on the world stage, it takes it back on the Iranian people, and comes back to make up for that humiliation by sacrificing the Iranian people. And on the other hand, as you said, Iranians are suffering from high inflation. The economy is collapsing. Everything is very, very expensive. Every time you go to grocery store, you have to spend a fortune to just get some eggs and, if you are very rich, maybe some meat. And Iranian people know that now that the Islamic Republic is approaching to, well, if at all, but it looks like they might reach a deal with the United States, people are very scared. People are terrified that what could this mean to them? What the state is going to come back to take from them to compensate for its own losses in the war, and where this is going to go. Remember, the Iran-Iraq War established the regime, helped the regime to establish itself as a real power. And we are afraid as Iranians that this war is also going to do the same to the Iranian regime if is abandoned right now, or if a deal is reached when the regime is not defeated and is not changed, is still in power. IRGC is its backbone. Then this is going to make the regime even more defiant in the face of the world power, seeing itself as invincible and a power that even the United States and Israel couldn't defeat. So this is very, very dangerous.
Very dangerous and very uncertain days for Iranians. All the while, we're not really getting a clear picture of what's actually happening inside Iran. There's been a near total internet blackout. When could we expect to see the internet open in Iran again to get a better picture of what's really happening to the day? Or will the regime likely keep it limited for as long as possible?
Well, that is a good question. Part of the economic problems that people are facing right now, besides, sanctions that have been imposed upon us for the past, a few decades, and even the worst sanctions after Ahmadinejad's nuclear adventure started and all of that. But now a lot of businesses are losing a lot of money, or just have to close their businesses because of the lack of internet, right? There are a lot of businesses who depend on these services, And people have become even poorer and poorer as a result of this internet shutdown. My own prediction is that the regime is going to keep the internet shut until or if a deal is reached with the United States in the next couple of weeks. And if not, it might even prolong this shutdown. I myself, I'm not even able to call my family members. I receive very telegraphic phone calls, sometimes saying that they are alive and well, and something as small as that. Otherwise, people are not able to organize, and part of it is exactly to prevent their ability from organizing themselves or from protesting or anything that they might be able to do once the bombardments are ceased. Another target that the regime is trying to hit by this is to actually control their people's mobility, political mobility, and also physical mobility. I mean, it reminds me of the SS youth during the Nazi reign, when kids, like almost teenagers, were given weapons. Now this is exactly what the Iran and other clerical fascist state is doing, is giving children protective gears and AK-47s and let them loose on the streets as part of the Basij militias, paramilitary, to go harass the population, stop people like Gestapo asking for papers. Where's your phone? Why did you send that message? What did you do? Checking people's houses for the Starlink terminals, and sometimes arresting people, raiding. See, the only machinery that is very efficient under the Islamic Republic is the machinery of suppression, execution, and torture. That never stops. That is 100% efficient machinery. As the state is fighting the most, the most almighty military in the world, and the greatest, military power in the Middle East, being Israel, it is still doing the executions.
Dr. Sona Kazemi, a very important voice to continue to bring to our viewers. Thank you for being with us on I-24 News today.